You're over 40 now. I think some ignorant people out there might say to themselves, he is 40 years old. He's not a teenager. How did he not know better? How did he not think something like this would happen? What do you say to those people who would ask those questions?
The thing was that this was meant to be a private space for me. Once I did it a few times and then no one recognized me, I kind of got comfortable. So I thought that it was just going to be these people in this small bubble that would ever see this or hear this.
There's some articles that are out there saying that there were hundreds and hundreds of men watching you in these rooms. Can you kind of clarify if that's true or not?
So there was only the one instance where there were hundreds of people watching. And the reason that there were hundreds of people watching, that didn't just happen. So what made that different than the previous times that I only had a handful of people? Why was I so popular all on my own? What happened is I was recognized. And when I was recognized, someone went to a bunch of blog websites and posted, hey, this is happening right now. This is unbelievable. The weather guy from New York One is on a webcam. Here's the link. Sure enough, within really minutes, there are hundreds of people watching. And I kind of was confused. I was like, wow, I usually only have a couple of people. I saw the number going up and up and up and up. I think there's even audio of me saying, I can't believe there's this many people or whatever the number was watching. There were no drugs involved. There was not even any alcohol involved. There were some poppers involved. There was a question proposed. Would it be hot if your boss saw you having sex or saw you on here? And just in that moment, I said, yeah, sure, that would be really hot, kind of going with the vibe. And one of the things the person on the other end typing on a computer screen said to me was, hey, I want you to write your name on your chest. And then after that, he said, I want you to write New York One, where you work, on your chest. And so I did everything I was asked. And I know that as I was doing it, that it was a mistake. I'm like, this doesn't feel like a good idea, but I'm in this moment. I'm going to do it anyway. And I did. And then what people don't know, except for those that are close to me, is that afterward, I cried because I didn't really understand why I did what I did. Sometimes sex is super complicated and you have this immediate regret. And I literally cried because I felt the really high risk of what I had done. And as I was cleaning that off my chest, off my body, I was crying. And unfortunately, the worst of it came out. And those were some of the videos that were recorded without my permission. This isn't something that I published on my own. This was something that was performed live and then recorded. So it should have only been, whatever people were watching in that moment. But now it's out there. And as anyone will tell you, if it's out on the internet, it's essentially out there forever. It ended up and resulted in my worst nightmare, which was everyone finding out and me eventually losing my job.
Mm-hmm. That perfectly ties into my next question, which is, what have you learned in this experience? I think you've probably learned a lot. What are the key lessons you have taken away after everything you've gone through?
I have told news directors in interviews that I learned from my mistakes. I wrote my name on my chest and put my employer in there as well. That's a mistake. I would never do that again, and I never will do that again. And I will not ever put myself in that level of public exposure ever again.